This is Nate, or Silvercrow 111, and we're gonna do my weather painter profile.
Show us what you got.
All right. So, in my opinion, arguably what has to be the most broken card for this deck is probably 3 copies of Cloud, because Cloud is infinite recursion. If your opponent goes to Twin Twisters one of your back row that says the weather on it, just grab 2 back out of the graveyard. Very nice.
Can you grab the 2 that they would have destroyed?
Yeah, if they destroy a card, you can use this card to just get the card they destroyed right back.
Oh.
It also applies for if you use Thunder. If you use Thunder's effect to send one, to swap it out, Cloud activates its effect, and then you can go get 2 more out of your graveyard if you have 2. These are my only 2 3-ofs because I think that they just happen to be the best ones. If I had a 3rd of Snow, I would play a 3rd of Snow, but for now, 2 Snow because 2 Snow. Snow's a good card.
Snow searches, correct?
Yeah, Snow searches any... Oh, actually, Snow searches and places any Weather Painter spell or trap.
Okay.
Or Weathery Canvas, I mean. 2 copies of Sun. You could easily bump this down to 1, but I keep it at 2 because I like having the abundance of names. This card lets you special summon him from the graveyard in defense position as long as you can get rid of one of your Weathery Canvases on your side of the field and have one in your hand. You can't special summon him if you don't have one in your hand because you need to be able to apply both effects of place one from your hand and send one from field to grave. I play 2 Rain because if I can bounce Rain and then get her special summon effect because I happen to brick on too many spells and traps, she comes in really handy to start playing them on your opponent's turn.
I was going to say, I never really seen you use Rain against my deck. What does Rain specifically do?
Rain, her effect is that when she's special summoned, you can place a Weather Painter, or the Weather Spell or Trap directly from your hand onto the field.
Oh, okay.
So
basically kind of like Snow, but from hand.
So usually what I would use her for is if I'm searching with her off of Snowy Canvas, use her to banish herself for Snowy Canvas, search for Thunder, and then on my opponent's turn, special summon her, and if I have another spell or trap in my hand, place it on the field.
Okay.
I think it comes in really handy, especially when you have an opponent looking down, like, those really big boards that are really hard to break, like, specifically Thunder Dragon boards are really hard to break. But now that Colossus is gone, it's a little bit easier.
Okay.
But she helps us when you have Thundery Canvas in your hand, because you get a search off Snow, and then when she specials on the back, you place Thunder Canvas, and that'll let you bounce your opponent's monsters.
All right.
By unpopular demand, I played 2 Weather Painter Aurora. I played 2 of her because of the fact that I also run Arrive Rivals.
All right.
And it's an easy tribute summon, so...
So would people usually run only 1 of or 0?
A lot of people like to cut this card down
entirely?
to 1. Yeah, a lot of people either like cut it entirely or run it at 1.
Okay.
She's extremely good for protecting your back row because she says that they can't be targeted or destroyed.
Okay.
I believe she says that at least. She says they can't be destroyed.
I was going to say, I know they can't be destroyed.
Yeah, cannot target. Yeah, she cannot target the Weather Spell or Traps, and they cannot be destroyed by card effects.
All right.
1 Ash Blossom because I only run at 1 because I only own 1 Ash Blossom actually.
At least in shiny version.
Yeah, at least like that. 1 DD Crow because DD Crow banishes a random card from my opponent's graveyard. It's nice. That's my monsters. So I think that's about 20 monsters.
And that's including hand traps.
Yeah, I think it's either 20 or 21 monsters, including the hand traps. And then I run, for spells, 3 Arrive Rivals because this card is busted for Weather Painters. Everything's level 3. It's fantastic. During the battle phase, I can just go to bounce one of my opponent's monsters if I've got a Weather Painter in the same column as Thundery Canvas. Then activate this during the battle phase, normal summon another one, and then bounce another one because I can attack twice. Sweet. 2 Snowy Canvas. You can easily run this at 3 by cutting down one of the other canvases or one of these. This is probably one of the best search cards for archetype reasons, at least, in my opinion, because this is just, hey, banish it, then search the weather.
The weather card?
Yeah, this is a search the weather card, which is the whole archetype. It's very nice. You've got a lot of decks that like to limit themselves down to like certain monsters or spells and traps. And then this deck doesn't really have to worry about that. Then there's 2 Cloudy Canvas because this card comes in clutch a lot of the time, especially if your opponent has monsters that aren't affected, like math mechs. You can, if your opponent goes to kill one of your monsters, you can just do this, target their monster, it's unaffected, but your monster's off the field. It's easy to just kind of work around it.
I wonder where you found the math mech player.
Anyways, 3 copies of Rainy Canvas because this card bounces spells and traps. Very nice.
I always hated going against Rainy Canvas whenever I had Salads on board.
This comes in handy against Mystic Mind. You just kind of special summon 1, then activate the effect after you start the second chain of a special summon to bounce Mystic Mind back to your opponent's hand. It's very nice. Then 1 Sunny Canvas because this is basically Monster Reborn, but not once per turn.
All right.
Soul Absorption because this whole deck banishes itself.
So easy way to get life points back.
Easy way to very quickly gain life points. I would run this at 3 any day. I just own 2. 2 Mystic Mind. Wow, what do you know? Speak of the devil. This card is great because if you happen to brick, this just stalls it for as long as possible. 1 Raigeki because it's Raigeki. Also, it's shiny. Get that's it for my spells.
Now it's time for the traps.
Yeah, now it's time for the traps. Okay, what's holding down the board? 2 copies of Thundery Canvas. Why? Because this is if you attack your opponent's monster while you have the weather monster in its column or adjacent to it, you can banish that weather monster and then
return it to the
hand. Which pairs nicely with my 1 copy of Aurora Canvas. If exactly 1 card is added to my opponent's hand, I can banish it and then make them draw 1. So problem cards, very easy to get out of the way, especially for this deck. Unless it's unaffected, that's the only time it's difficult. Drowning Mirror Force. 2 copies of it because we are going to get attacked directly a lot. And then a couple extra nice little backup cover myself is 2 Solemn Strikes because we hate special summons.
All right.
And then just because we can, more Raigekis, but the trap card version.
Nice. All right, so now we have the extra deck. Do you want to go through?
The extra deck is probably one of the strangest parts because we run a single Synchro Monster. The reason we run this 1 Synchro Monster is because it's level 9, everything's level 3, and we just so happen to have 1 single Ash Blossom. So, I mean, a card that banishes...
Use it if you can.
Yeah, if you can use it, use it. If you can't use it, get it so you can use it. That card, it's so nice, especially when you pair it with Soul Absorptions and the rest of your deck. This card is super useful. Nightmare Phoenix, because it's Nightmare Phoenix. Nightmare Phoenix is a universal card.
Spell and trap removal.
Yeah, spell and trap removal, very good. I run 3 copies of the Rainbowed Weather Painter because, I mean, being able to fill up columns that she points to and then negate spells and traps is just absolutely busted.
And then, can't she negate special summons
and then
as
when
well?
your opponent goes to special summon, you contribute her to negate that special summon, and it's such an amazing effect to work with. And then it comes down even better once you pair this with Sun because or Sunny Canvas because you can just special summon her back from the graveyard.
All right.
For more special summon negates. 1 World Chalice Ningirasu because it's a non-target removal. I don't have to use the other effect. And then 1 Nightmare Griffin because let's say my opponent happens to get around all of my trap cards. This is going to bring back the traps. We're not worried about the spells, just the traps. We're very limited on Weather Painter trap cards.
All right. Is there any kind of tech cards you would add to the deck to make it more?
Tech-wise, if you wanted to, I know it's not a popular card to run since it sets up your opponent's hand, but you could switch out the Arrive Rivals for 3 copies of Darkworld Daylings because if you compare it nicely with a lot of the spells and traps. Another way that you could run instead of this card is you could always run Pot of Extravagance, just fill this up with more useless cards. Or even Pot of Desires is nice. Sure, you might hit a couple things, but that's why we run 2 and 3 of basically every monster.
All right. Gotta hope you don't banish that Mystic Mind.
Yeah, don't hit the Mystic Mind. I mean, you can, but you're gonna have a hard time stalling.
Yeah. So that's your weather profile?
Yeah, that's my Weather Painter profile.
All right, thank you for doing this, Nate.
Yes.